What is the current mood with Palace fans? You know, Oliver Glasner, his first full season in charge. He's going to have a pre-season. He'll have a transfer window to sign players.
Yeah.
What's the mood going into it? You know, there were 7 games unbeaten to end last season as well. So that momentum, obviously, you know, it's a new season, so it's a fresh book. But what's the mood?
It's an interesting one. I say the mood before the Elise stuff started to bubble was one of real excitement and one that Palace could actually really do something here. The problem is that when you start to do well, and especially in the Premier League, the likes of, you're going to see it, Ipswich, if you guys start to do really well, your best players are all going to be sort of circled by Liverpool, Manchester United, Manchester City. You've already seen it with Kieran McKenna, so it's going to start happening to your players. Once that starts to happen, it's really difficult to keep hold of them. So losing Elise is going to be a huge blow to the fan base and to the mood around the club heading into this season, because he was so dangerous every single time he got the ball onto his left foot. 9 times out of 10, the ball was going to end up in the back of the net. So losing someone like that for a mid-table club is hugely damaging. So they have to go out and try and replace him. But the mood overall is probably still one of optimism, maybe a little bit, I'd say, just because Oliver Glasner really did find a way of getting a tune out of this squad. Found a way of really sort of getting more players to show their true ability. Mitchell, Mateta, who I've already mentioned. Will Hughes was performing really well. Adam Wharton was phenomenal for Crystal Palace in the second half of last season and got himself into the England squad. Hasn't featured yet, but he's now entering his first full Premier League season, which is really exciting. And Czech Decore is coming back from injury. So there is room for optimism. The Elise thing at the moment is a little bit of a blow, but I expect in the coming weeks and maybe by the end of the transfer window, once Crystal Palace have fully replaced him, that maybe the blow won't seem as such a huge loss, and more one of a sense of opportunity for himself that he couldn't turn down.
What do you reckon Ipswich will do? Do you reckon they can stay up? Obviously, last year we saw 3 teams come up. They went straight back down. This year, obviously, Southampton, Leicester, familiar faces in the Premier League, but Ipswich Town, the new face on the block, and got a young, hungry manager in Kieran McKenna, a squad that will want to prove they can step up. But it will be a tough season for Town, but it's going to be an exciting one.
I think what's really interesting is if you look at a lot of the Premier League teams, nobody's really got that much money because of PRS. Yeah. So Ipswich coming into the league now and being able to try and splash 30+ million pounds on Philogene and Jacob Greaves and Hull is really exciting for your fan base. You know, you're going to have a squad that's already capable of competing because you guys aren't hamstrung at the moment by Premier League rules and regulations. So if you look at, I know you just chatted with the Everton guy, but if you look at the likes of them, they're in a difficult place. I know they've just bought in Dye, but their squad overall, Aston Villa had to deal with it, Chelsea too. So I think it could be quite an interesting Premier League this year, just in terms of teams trying to struggle and pick the best sort of buys because of financial restraints. So I think Ipswich are going to finish mid-table quite comfortably. A big enough club, big enough fan base, great manager, great squad of players who are riding the momentum. So yeah, going to be really interesting.